Good afternoon. The Transportation Infrastructure, the Transportation Subcommittee is now called to order. Flashback there. Excuse me there, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Representatives Carr, Darby, Glenn, Harris, Hazelwood, Howell, Marsh, Pearson, Russell, Sherrill, Towns, Vital,
Present.
Wright, Chairman Whitson.
Present.
Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any personal announcements from the members? Representative Darby, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to, I had a fellow walk in here from my area, and Andrew Maddox, and one of the best baseball coaches and insurance guys in West Tennessee. So just wanted to say welcome.
I need to link him up with my grandson. He's 10 years old and can throw a 60-mile-an-hour fastball. I'll talk to you after committee. Chairman Howell, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I couldn't help but notice that our liaison from TDOT, Mr. Jake Line, walked in with a hard hat in his hand. I don't know what he's anticipating happening in this committee, but I guess he's prepared just in case. He does have a hard hat.
Thank you. Anybody else? Also, I'd like to recognize Elizabeth Stroker from the Department of Safety. She was not recognized last week. She's one of our liaisons. And Elizabeth, we appreciate your help for this committee. It's been indispensable over the past years, and we're glad you're part of the team. Okay, with that, we're ready for our first bill. Item number 1 by Chairman Reagan has been rolled to the Hill. Item number 2, we're going to take that up, and I'm not showing favoritism by letting him go first, even though he is from my part of my county. Representative Bolso, you are recognized on House Bill 257. We have a motion and a second. Sir, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, members of the committee. The bill that is before you right now is an amendment to what's colloquially known as the Precious Cargo Act, and it seeks to improve communications between the operator of a motor vehicle who suffers from an intellectual or developmental disability and police officers. And under current law, if you are an individual who suffers from a disability, an intellectual disability or developmental disability, and you're the owner or a lessee of a vehicle, you can actually apply to have a designation put in the database that shows that you have a disability that might impair your ability to communicate with an officer that you might encounter along the highway. What this bill does is it expands the current language so that if you are the parent or the legal guardian or the conservator of someone who suffers from an intellectual or developmental disability and who has therefore communication problems, that you can also register and designate your relative, your son, or whoever you have, your daughter, whoever you have guardianship over, and make sure that their license plate also has the configuration of letters and numbers that designates to law enforcement that you may have a difficulty in communicating with law enforcement. And that is the essence of the bill. And I'm ready for questions, Mr. Chairman.
And sponsor, we don't want to get it in the right format. We have, I show 2 amendments. I show a House Amendment number 1, 4573. Is that what you show?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor, and this amendment rewrites the bill, correct?
That one does, yes.
Okay. So all in favor of adding Amendment 4573 to the House Bill 257, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. The amendment goes on the bill. And sponsor, I show another amendment, Amendment 12535. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
And that merely changed the effective date. Is that correct?
That's all it does, yes.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of putting an Amendment 12535 on House Bill 257, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment goes on the bill. Again, anything else for the committee?
Not at this time.
Okay, we have a. Okay, you're keeping me straight right there, Chairman Carr. Okay. Do we have any other? Chair Lady Hazelwood, you're recognized.
Just a point of clarification. I'm assuming that the description you gave is the amendment one that rewrote the bill. That's the description you provided, correct?
That is correct, Chair Lady Hazelwood.
Thank you.
Okay, Representative Pearson, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, sponsor, for this bill. Just one question. How, I really just wanted to understand the process. I think I'll be supporting it. When a law enforcement officer reviews the tags, there's a system that they have that would allow them to get a notification that this person might have a disability. I'm really curious how that works.
Yes, Representative Pearson, that is exactly correct. And the configuration differs depending on the nature of the disability.
Mhm.
Like the deaf community has a particular configuration of letters and numbers that when someone who's the operator of a vehicle has that special configuration on their license tag, law enforcement knows just by seeing it that they're part of the deaf community. And they can obviously plug in the license number to their system and see more detailed information about the operator. The same thing would be true were this to pass for those with intellectual disabilities and developmental disabilities who are operating cars driven by their parent, their legal guardian, or their conservator.
Representative?
Yeah. So, thank you again for the bill. I will be supporting it. You know, we do a lot of work in Memphis and Shelby County to, I mean, you all know the story of Tyree Nichols. The interactions that we sometimes have with police officers aren't always the best. And in that very unfortunate case, it led to a young man's death. And so we're thinking about how do we limit those interactions? But when those interactions with law enforcement do happen, how do we ensure the safety of the people that are being interacted with our police officers and people in law enforcement? And I believe this legislation would ensure that there would be a better interaction for people who have these expanded range of disabilities, which I think is really important to ensure more people go make it home safe and well. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Representative Pearson. I could not agree more. I think you're 100% correct that it's important to do whatever we can to improve communication between members of the public and law enforcement because we can save lives by doing that. And this bill, if I might say so, I think can actually save lives if it's passed.
Chairman Howell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just moved previous question.
Okay, the previous question is moved. Members, we are now voting on House Bill 257. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Bill moves on to the Full Transportation Committee. And I just want to reiterate, I think it's a great bill and will save lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Okay, members, next up, we have item number 3 from Representative Martin of Huntington, Tennessee. Sir, you are recognized on House Bill 1796. Do we have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second. The bill is before us. Please give a brief description of your
Absolutely.
bill.
Thank you, committee and chair, for this opportunity. This bill is pretty simple. It's on behalf of my chiropractic physician friends currently in Tennessee. Being able to sign a application for a handicap placard does not include chiropractors on the list. So under Title 63, we're physician level providers where that can be done. There's a gray area across the state where the clerk has that opportunity when she reads it, if he or she reads it, and if it doesn't say chiropractor or the provider, sometimes they're denied. Sometimes they're not. So this just clarifies it, puts chiropractors on that list that can do that procedure. So with that, I stand ready for question.
Okay, any questions from the committee? Seeing none, members, we are now voting on House Bill 1796. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Bill moves on to Full Transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, committee and chair.
Next up, I have item number 4 we're going to roll this bill 1 week. The sponsor is still working on getting a Senate sponsor. Okay, so next up, we have House Bill 1806, item number 5 by Representative Butler, Rickman, Tennessee. Do we have a motion and second? We have a motion and second, and we have I show an amendment. Let's get the bill in the proper format. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong bill.
Wrong bill.
Excuse me. Here we go. We do not have an amendment. Okay. Okay. The bill is properly before us. Please give us a brief description of your legislation, please.
Thank you, committee and chair. This bill is fairly simple. It allows for a handicap license plate sticker to be added to a personalized license plate on a motorcycle. This was brought to me by Senator Hale. He had an individual in his district this is applied to, and he asked me to carry this. So, hello? He asked me to carry this. And so that is simply that. It's really that simple. It allows you to put a handicap sticker on a personalized, whether it's a veteran's plate or a personalized plate. And it's really that simple. And with that, I remove my motion. Stand for any questions.
Any questions for the sponsor? Seeing none, we are now voting on House Bill 1806. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you,
Bill moves
committee.
on to full transportation. Okay, we're back to the hill of the calendar, and we are waiting on Representative or Chairman Reagan. Can we just? I'm sorry. Yeah. So, members, let's take a 5-minute recess while we wait for Chairman Reagan. Members, we're back in session. I'd like to recognize Chairman Reagan of Oak Ridge, Tennessee on House Bill 1127. Sir, you're recognized. We have a motion and a second. Will you give us a description of your bill, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I stand before you today with a very similar bill to some that I've carried before. Slight differences. For the benefit of those that are new on the committee, let me give you a brief background here. I represent a district when I first took office that had 6 coal mines. They have none now. That portion of my district is poverty stricken. In an effort to try to bring their economy up to a level where they can earn a living and support their families, we have shifted to tourism. And I will say that it's been somewhat successful, in no small part because of the bills that this group has helped me get through. Now we'll talk about what that is. ATVs, zip lines, and the like are what is making it possible for those residents to be able to stay there. Many of them had to leave because they had to find work elsewhere, but the ones that have persevered have made a transition. And specifically, the bills that I carried before you allowed these ATV trails, which run through the mountains, to be connected with very short stretches on the highway. The Department of Safety looked at that. This, by the way, has been in effect for years now. And they approved opening it for 2 weeks a year in certain circumstances to connect these trails. 2 towns, one named Oliver Springs, another one named Rocky Top, are at opposite ends of the trails. Both of them have been, by the way, I'll mention Rocky Top was the one I had you all observe a moment of silence for earlier in our session because of a fire. Sometimes you can't win for losing, it seems, but fortunately, it didn't burn down the tourist attraction next to it, which was the fudge factory. But anyway, different story. The idea behind this is to get tourists in there to be able to support the community. What this bill does is simply eliminates the restriction we had in the previous bill for any 2 weeks a year for us to be able to connect those ATV trails. The roads are already surveyed, designated. The people are used to it, so it's no increase in hazard. With that said, I want to emphasize to you again that the area is beginning to recover via tourism. In no small part, this outdoor adventure tourism is contributing mightily to it, and we need to keep it going. With that explanation, ladies and gentlemen, I stand ready for questions.
Any questions? Representative Pearson, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you, sponsor, for the bill. Do you have an opinion from the Department of Safety on this change?
Forgive me, but I filed this last year. They didn't object to it last year. I don't think they've changed their mind.
Okay. And do you think there are any other further protections that folks might need, or signage or anything like that?
Signage is already up, sir.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Representative Glenn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And thank you, sponsor. What's those 2 weeks of the year that you're talking about? What is going on during those 2 weeks? What is there a holiday? Is there? They have certain, I guess, rallies, for lack of a better word, that they publicize among that community. There's something called Wind Rock, which is right next to Oliver Springs at the end of one of the trails. And they have a Wind Rock Festival. That's one of the weekends. The other one they try to get going at the other end of the trail, Rocky Top. But 2 weeks a year does not support a full tourism industry. And by connecting these trails, it makes it essentially something that we can, now, of course, this time of year, it's not going to matter. But in warmer weather, it makes it something that the communities can earn a living on.
Any other questions? Members also want to know this has already passed to the floor of the Senate the other day with an amendment. And so any other questions or questions been called? All in favor of moving House Bill 1127 to full transportation, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Chairman moves on to full transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I appreciate it.
Okay, I have nothing else on my calendar. Any comments or questions from the, without it, we are adjourned. Thank you, Amanda.